Welcome back to the show, and today we're going to pose the question, what if Resident Evil was good? And what if instead of Star's Alpha Team, it was Star's Sigma Team? And instead of Albert Wesker, it was Albert Rizzler. Anyway.
Behold my ultimate weapon, the Skibidi Toilet!
Just like,
I still haven't seen Skibidi Toilet because,
Resident Evil, but it's just brain rot, basically.
I got all my knowledge of brain rot from just those Spider-Man.
Oh God, I love those. Alright, so the question is now, are we going to make it to Lisa Trevor on this episode?
You mean Albert Wesker?
Yeah.
Another
joke no one's going to get, yeah. Unless it's that one randomizer video we were talking about earlier. Yeah, so I think, we're not far off the Lisa Trevor boss fight, I think.
Nice.
So, yeah, very exciting. This is not a puzzle, this is pushing a box. This is busy work. It's one of the things, like, I've praised the puzzles in this game, but sometimes, it is just... When you build a game on, like, a puzzle a minute like this, they're not all going to be winners.
Well, pushing blocks was...
100 floors of horror, they're not all going to be winners. Some of them are going to be David Pumpkins.
Pushing the blocks was, as we did it, was a trend at the time, pushing big blocks. That's all I can really remember from Soul Reaver.
Yeah, there was a lot of block pushing in Soul Reaver. Like pushing blocks to make the platforming kind of work. It's like, I've got wings, they don't really work anymore because they're all shredded, so it's basically just a double jump.
I got these shredded wings because Kane is a bitch and jealous.
Yeah, you know what? I'm making a call out right now.
Yeah.
Kane is a bitch-ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he pissed on my wife.
Yeah.
That's the bit they cut out the original.
He pulled out his dick and he said it was this big. And I said, that's disgusting. Alright,
I'm just really surprised they haven't done another remake of Soul Reaver or some shit like that.
I think, it's one of those games that might be worth, rather than remaking, doing a remaster. Yeah, I was going to say doing this, but this is a remake. But you know what I mean? This is a remaster of that remake.
They did Shadow Man, and I would say there's like 3 or 4.
Legacy of Kain had more sequels and everything.
Yeah.
I'd say Shadow Man 1 was a big success, but as a franchise, it only got 2 games. The second one was a piece of shit that no one cared about. I refuse to call it second. If you put the number 2 as an S, I'm calling your game 2-ekond coming. All right.
Yeah, and
I'm so childish like that. Like Megan, it's Mithrigan. That's Mithrigan.
I mean,
or Fant4stick.
Yeah, they were planning on doing a third one, but they thought the whole saxophone thing, like having playing a guy.
Oh, fuck Garth Ennis, man.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Jacob is a big fan of Shadow Man. Some may have picked up on that.
Yeah, if you look at the name of the other channel.
And originally, Shadow Man was a comic book, and it was a different guy than the black guy, the Michael Lahr black guy.
Mm-hmm.
This other guy, and I didn't know about this, and basically they killed him off for Garth Ennis took over, and he died by having I think at the end of the comic he falls out of a window or something like that, and it starts with the guy, the main character, Shadow Man the First, dead,
Jack Boniface,
with a saxophone shoved up his arse.
Yeah, he was because he played it. Yeah. And that just tells you everything you need to know about Garth Ennis as a writer, who is just one of the most puerile and crass individuals.
I think puerile is absolutely the best way to pure. If you've seen The Boy, oh man, this is in bad taste. Yeah, I fucking haven't seen anything like The Boys, the comic book.
Yeah, The Boys comic book is even worse.
The Boys show started well.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It had a good first season. Honestly, for me, the cracks started to appear as early as season 2. But season 4 is when I stopped watching.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I've stopped watching.
But some of the things in retrospect, you look back and you're like, there's the cracks that kind of like with Game of Thrones, when you go, oh, well, the cracks didn't really appear till season 5. And then you go back and you're like, well, actually, as early as even the 4th season
basically
has got really great moments. But
if we could use that time machine one last time, and you went back in time and choked out the writer and actually wrote something good for season 4, then you wouldn't really care about the cracks.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know, oh well, they're a bit of a low point, but they really fucking nailed it with season 4.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, it's
absolutely, yeah. That's the thing, because a lot of shows, they have a period where they kind of sink a little bit. If anybody's a fan of the show Angel, who's watching this video, the entire 4th season of that is complete trash.
Yep.
So which one? Like I haven't seen Angel in years. Is that when
Fourth season
Spike
was-
came back as a ghost or
No,
something?
that was the
That's
fifth season.
season
The
5.
fourth season was Connor, which was like his Angel's like evil son.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't even remember watching
it
that.
ends with Jasmine.
Yeah.
And Cordelia gets basically sidelined, and she's had this
It's like a
like
creepy romance with like a teenage boy.
yeah, and then
It's
she's
not
had Jasmine
good.
inside of her the whole time,
Yeah.
and
Was Jasmine again?
Jasmine, it was like this bad like big
It's like
bad
the
that appeared
Beast,
for
right?
like
She's also called, I think.
the Beast was separate.
Okay. I
Right,
can't
the
fucking
fucking
It
lore of-
sucks anyway, is the point.
Well, looking forward to the new season of Buffy or what?
Yeah, who gives a shit? I'm so sick to death. And this is probably going to shock people who have come to a show about retro things. I mean, obviously, we don't play really new games on this show at all. Like, this is like the newest shit that we play, the remakes of old games. But I am so sick of these fucking snakes. Sorry, I was thinking about that randomizer again. They're genuinely, like, unbelievably bored to tears of legacy sequels. And just
They're
like,
so stupid.
hey, remember this thing you liked from 20 years ago? Yeah, I liked it because it was new and original. Well, here it is again!
So you know that I've been telling Jacob about this. I watched a EFAP episode where they watched this guy who had a half-hour thing on how the
Just
sequels.
talk about how unbelievably creepy that one frame is. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for... Obviously, I understand why we don't use them anymore. They're very dated. But sometimes a predetermined camera angle can be pretty cool. Carry on with what you're saying. I just wanted to draw attention to the screen.
So, it's a 6-hour video the EFAP people did on this one guy's video from Screen Crash or Screen something or other, about why the sequels were good and make sense, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And one of the things they brought up was the guy was like, he was using all these sort of like, oh, you see, people wanted films like this. The guy was making really fucking stupid, broad points about like the decades and sort of films they had. And they brought up the fact that, what's this decade going to be known for? And is it just going to be shit remakes and reimaginings and like shit sequels, like
Pretty much,
nothing
yeah.
original?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like Emily. Funnily enough, like, what I thought? Like, I thought was like, there's been a lot of original things in video games, but they've all fucking failed.
Yeah.
Like, kicking off a whole new series, Dustborn or Unknown 7, 8, whatever that fucking game was, or the Unknown 9. Did you hear about that?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, no, so no one did. But it was one of those things that they were going to use as a jumping off point for like comic, but like multimedia bullshit,
Oh, yeah.
podcasts,
Yeah.
things like that. And like it fucking, I don't even remember seeing any fucking advertising for it. So you spent all the money on the wrong place. Apparently it's shit as well.
The only thing that I can say about at least the 2020s so far is that the horror movies released in the last sort of few years, for the most part, have been pretty alright. With the ones that've been original anyway.
But the only like really iconic, you bring out iconic sort of like reoccurring to the point where they get sick of sort of characters of that clown. What's it called?
Terrifier.
Terrifier.
That's it. I was going to say like Frighteners, but
That's not even really my cup of tea, to be honest. Like, I'm happy that those movies are doing well because they're at least original. But yeah, everything's just, I know this is not exactly a
fresh new.
perspective, but like, I think the one film, and people probably don't even remember that this happened, but the one film that really kind of pushed me to be frustrated as hell by all this, believe it or not, was Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Oh fuck
Yes.
yeah! I keep forgetting that came out.
Yeah, most people do, right? It was such a non-event.
I think the only person I saw that was Nathan. That had seen that was Nathan.
Oh yeah, like, we watched it.
I'm gonna say
The only thing I remember from him telling me about it was that
we've actually got loads of time. I was going to end it here, but I just realised that we've actually got quite a lot of episode time left. So
Alright.
even though I'm saving, we'll just end it later. No more.
yeah, it was like the only like thing about that film I remember him because I remember he telling me about the thing after he saw it, and the only thing I remember is like what's his name's mum remarries again for the third time, and it's like the only ongoing joke.
Yeah, there's the one thing I do remember is that Dave Grohl is in it.
And so is it Kid Cudi, that guy?
Kid Cudi, yeah.
He's in it, and they make such a fucking big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm meant to even know who that guy is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice of Keanu Reeves to essentially go back to the well for other people because sure as shit he didn't need it.
No, in fact, him being in that movie puts me to the mind of Christopher Lee doing those Dracula movies. Like, well, my friends all need work.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, I think legacy sequels in general are. I mean, like Ghostbusters Afterlife, for example.
Oh
one that
god,
was
what
really,
a fucking pile of shit.
And
Frozen Kingdom, was it?
Did anybody see that one? The Frozen one?
I don't think anyone did.
No. Nobody saw that fucking movie. And let's hope that that's the end of Ghostbusters. A series that had precisely zero franchise potential. There should have been one movie and maybe the cartoon and the video games.
The cartoons
Ghostbusters
were
2 is good. I will die
no,
on that
it's
hill.
not. It's
If you
not
skip the
good.
first 15 minutes, I like Ghostbusters 2 after you skip a whole thing of like, we forgot about ghosts! That was fucking stupid. That is so fucking stupid. And the fact they do it again for the third time. I think I told you my idea of making a Ghostbusters 3, which is like, people know about ghosts now. Let's explore that. Where are the ghosts? What are they? Fucking, maybe it's a franchise. Internationally
I
known.
was
Like,
literally about to say, if you're going to make a franchise out of that, since they're making a business, making a literal franchise. So one of the cool things about I don't know what the age group, because our audience is so small, I don't know what the age group is, but if you're in our age group, you might remember the old Ghostbusters computer game.
Yeah.
And the premise of that is you were not playing as the Ghostbusters from the film, you were starting your own Ghostbusters franchise. Which I thought was a cool idea. Yeah, maybe explore that if you're going to have new characters or whatever. But generally, I just don't think Ghostbusters has any fucking franchise potential. Terminator doesn't have any franchise potential. There's these series
it's sort of like,
that...
you do this and you're stretching out the premise. It's like, every single Aliens anything is always, Weyland-Yutani wants to weaponize the dinosaurs. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It fucking fails again.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
And I noticed, obviously, the use of the word dinosaurs, of course, brings me into... Stop making Jurassic Park movies!
There's one good movie in that one.
Yeah. It came out like 30 years ago. Enough!
32 years as of this year.
Just, stop!
Yeah.
I mean, the second one's really good. It has a great villain in Vince Vaughn. He let out the dinosaur in the...
And he took that one guy's Pete Postlethwaite's bullets off him as well. So here you go. Maybe you could have saved these guys. Now they're all going to die. There's you and your hunters who rescued me and my friends from the cliff. I'm going to have you all killed. I'm supposed to be like the heroic hippie character. Fucking terrible. I hate all the Jurassic Park sequels. Absolute garbage. And the new ones are the worst ones.
I know, I was gonna say, what you were saying about, like, you know, like films like Alien or films like Terminator. I was like those ones, and even Ghostbusters. I know you don't agree, but these films have all had two movies that were good, and then they should have stopped.
A really good first one, and then a one that's, you know...
Yeah, I will say with Ghostbusters at the very least, it's the same. Yeah, with Ghostbusters, at the very least, it does the same thing that Terminator did. Is that the sequel is made, you know, at a reasonable amount of time after the first one.
Yeah.
It's not rushed out, but it's also, well, I mean, it kind of was with Ghostbusters too, but like, it's not fucking 20 years later. These
It's
movies,
5 years later.
Yeah, these movies have no like soul to them. It's just like it's studios going through
a catalogue.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Hey, what do we own?
You know, the first time I noticed this was many years ago, when suddenly, all of a sudden, Cats and Dogs 2 came out. Like, fucking, who's riding that zeitgeist?
That was a weird one for me, because I remember it
I never even saw either of those films. It's just like, oh, I remember Cats and Dogs, and then, you know, what was it, like 7, 8, something like, some period of time later, like, that's a weird amount of time to, and I fucking didn't know about the future, and was like, oh, let's do a sequel to this thing.
Well, if anyone's looking at the lore on screen, by the way, it's really good. But you know, we're talking about something much more interesting.
Cats and Dogs
Cats
2.
and Dogs 2.
So,
But
so
this is some cool shit.
This is the Itchy and Scratchy room.
Yeah.
No.
No, this is the stuff we find out about Lisa Trevor's like backstory and everything.
Yeah.
And you start to kind of feel sorry for the character a bit, rather than just be afraid of.
Yeah.
It's her dad's fault for being a shit architect.
Yeah.
So I went to the cinema to see Cats and Dogs, because like this was like I think it came out. The
I
year
think I did too.
I was about 6 or 7 when it came out.
Yeah.
And
Isn't Cats and Dogs just Boss Baby?
Yeah,
The thing
pretty
is-
much. Yeah.
the thing is, what I always found like
I mean, Boss Baby, yeah, the other way.
like I remember the things I remember about it are Jeff Goldblum being a scientist, and then just like Tobey Maguire playing a beagle. That's all I remember.
See, that's good because I'm not even going to get. We have this stupid in joke about Tobey Maguire just being a man with a paper plate on his face. But like, that's not important right now because we're coming up to the 15-minute mark, and
And this is YouTube in the early days when you could only do
yeah,
10.
but like that's part of the nostalgia, I guess, is that we do 15-minute episodes. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Gold?
Yeah.
Remember,
okay.
send gold!
Send gold bullion.